Hey, how you doing? My name is Taji Hashemi Sohai, and this is Assignment 6-7, Phase 5. Now, for this assignment, I decided to go with Scenario 2. A campus cafe offers a self-service kiosk where customers can build a basic drink with a few customizations and pay via a provider. Now, for the requirements, we had to build a drink item with a few customizable options such as size, extra shot, milk type. We have to create an order, send that order to an employee, and notify the employee of the order. Now, the order itself has to be able to change states, such as in progress, paid, and ready. Now, listening to these requirements and the scenario itself, I thought that the builder pattern would be the best. I thought this would be the design pattern that works best with this scenario because things are simple. We have things like a drink type or a drink size, and we want things like that don't need to be changed. So like the original code would never need to be changed. So I felt like things needed to be simple. The code needed to be simple. There wouldn't be too much code. There wouldn't be too many. There's not going to be like it's just going to be two classes, and one is a nested class, and we're gonna have two constructors, not too many constructors, not many setters at all. All we're changing is like the extra shot. As you can see over here, I decided to just go. I decided to make things very simple, and because of the simplicity, I thought builder pattern was perfect because again it would be things would be easily readable. It's just two classes. One is a nested class. We got two constructors, and we're just setting one thing, and that's the extra shot. Otherwise, we're just passing attributes. So over here, when we create our coffee, we're just doing size, milk, type, and extra shot. Because of that simplicity, I was like, okay, builder pattern is perfect. Because, these things don't really have to change. And, again, every time you create an object, that object is going to be in a valid state. So it's like every time you create a drink, it's like, okay, we create a drink. It's easy. The drink comes out, and it's ready to go. And it goes right to the employee. So over here we have our coffee class. Let's show it to you. Here's a diagram, but I'm going to show it to you in the code. I think that would be a little bit better. So over here we have our coffee class where we take a size, we take a milk type, and we take this type. I was like, oh, well, we could do like a drink type, like lattes and things like that, or like like a hot chocolate or something like that. And for extra shot, I went with a boolean. So it's like if you want an extra shot, it's true. If you don't want one, it's false. So now all these things are passed to the coffee builder where we create our object. So here's where we set our attributes, and we call extra shot if we do want an extra shot. In the case that I put together, we're not going to call an extra shot, and I'll show you how that works in just a little bit. But here's where we would call extra shot if we wanted to give it an extra shot, and then we build our coffee object. And then we go here. And here's where we call order. And now the point of get order is to send the order to the employee as a string. So here's we have type, size, milk. Here I have a little if statement, whether or not we do an extra shot. So if it's true, we want an extra shot. If it's false, we don't want an extra shot. So this message is going to be sent to the employee. Now over an employee, the employee is going to start making the order. First, we print. We call get order. This is where we print the order for the employee, and then the employee starts making the order. Now I made some edge cases here where if the order is like not paid and it's in progress for some reason, then that means the order hasn't been paid. Now here we send an error message saying payment is not accepted, and we return. We're done. Otherwise, we start making the order. Now we update the payment status. First, we let them know that the payment has been made. Right now, the payment status is paid, and this is happening. We're accessing the create order right now. Now I made the create order literally just to change states. So the create order is just so the employee can change the state as they're making the drink. So now we start creating the order. We make our call to order in a create order, and that changes the state. Now we go from paid to in progress. Right? We send a thank you message for their order. We start making the drink, and we update the drink status. So now the drink status is in progress, and the drink is being made, and we send the customer a message saying so. Now, moving on, if the drink is in progress, then we go on and we continue making the drink. If for some reason the drink is not in progress or things aren't paid or something else happened, then we return and everything ends right there. But, if the drink is in progress, we continue making the drink. Now we make another call to make order to change the state again from in progress to paid. We let the customer know here that the status has been updated and the drink is ready. And we send a message saying that the drink is finished. And that's basically the whole flow. So over here in main is where we create the coffee object, and here's where we pass everything to Coffee Builder. You know, we wanted a small drink. We're going to go with oat milk, and we're doing a latte. And we call build to build our object. Now we create an employee object to make the drink, and we pass that the new coffee object. And again, it's that simple. Every time we send the parameters here, and then we build it, and immediately we have a valid coffee object that we can send to the employee. And here's where we send the coffee to the employee. Now now that the employee has the coffee and all the information, we can call make order, and the employee can start making the order. And I just showed you how all of that was done. So now let's play. Let's see how it works. Well, you can't see it already there, but all right. Let's run this. So, you know, just to make it easy, I just made everything display and made everything work immediately. So here, basically, what happens is we send a message, we display the message to the employee. The employee updates the payment status, updates the status to a paid. We thank the customer for ordering, and then we update the drink status to in progress. And then we let the customer know that the drink is being made. And then we update if things are paid and things are in progress, we can move on to finishing the drink. Now we update the drink status to ready, and we let the customer know that the drink is finished. And that's basically the whole workflow for this code. And I feel that this shows the builder pattern pretty well. And it shows why it's so good for something as simple as this, because you really don't have to change anything, especially when it comes to like size. You know, we're just like using string types except for the boolean on the extra shot. And you know, again, I wanted things to be simple and easy to read. So again, builder was really perfect for that. But I also understand it wasn't like, you know, there could have been better patterns. I understand that as well. Yeah. Using the builder pattern, I was able to create my drink easily, change the attributes such as the size of the drink and the milk type. The builder pattern was great for these uses, but when it came to customizing the drink, like with extra shots, I found the builder pattern to be a little bit weak compared to other patterns. Now, if I had to add new customization options, I would have to change the builder class itself, and this goes against the open-close principle. It basically makes things harder to extend, which is why when I was first deciding on a design pattern, I had landed on the decorator pattern. Because, you know, if I wanted like an extra drink, if I wanted a new type of drink, we have seasonal drinks. Okay, we have different flavors. Okay, we want to do Frosties now. Instead of having to change the original code, we could just do a wrapper class for these things. So, you know, at first I was like, decorator makes sense, but then I was thinking about like size and things like that are going to remain constant. And I was like, oh, doing a wrapper class on something like size, that didn't make much sense to me. So for that, the builder class, like that really just like set my mind on the builder class. So, you know, again, I felt this pattern, for the decorator pattern, I felt that this pattern would have made it much easier and more efficient to add things like extra shots, flavors, seasonal drinks without changing the original code. You know, again, we would have been doing wrapper classes. You know, it's also difficult to make things immutable when you can change anything using the setter, like with the extra shot. Even when the order is done and they wanted the extra shot, I can still change it to no extra shot. But even with these issues, which again are minuscule, especially for what I'm using things for, I still felt that the builder option was the best option to go with. It was simple, it was easy to read. Again, there weren't too many constructors, and there weren't too many setters. There wasn't much getters, you know, and everything was very easy to read and maintain. So this is my code, and I feel like it worked pretty well. I hope that you guys enjoyed what I made, even though it was very simple, and I'm sure you guys are looking at this all day. Thank you again for looking at my video.